going to start this meeting off the way we start every single meeting. If somebody is feeling brave or proud, or, we celebrate wins, whether they are large or small. Does anybody have any wins that they want to share with the group here? Bobby, tell us. Yes, Bobby.
So we broke 100,000 this month, which is amazing. I mean, we were 75, 80 before, so we hit 100,000, 101,000.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Woo!
So coming on with you guys got me more money, got more calls coming in, and we're busy. So thank you guys.
Is that the first time in a long time you've hit 100,000, or is this a first entirely?
It's the first time I ever tracked it that I seen it. It might have happened before when I did a lot of commercial, but it was I don't know back then. It was just like all chaotic. But this time mostly mainly service, and a little bit of commercial.
I like to say if it wasn't tracked, then it didn't happen. So I'm going to say this was your first.
Yes.
That is awesome, Bobby. Congratulations.
Thank
I know
you.
it's something that we've been really focusing on is tracking and pricing and cash flow. And so it's probably, it's been a lot of hard work, and it's probably nice to finally see some reward from that, to see that month. So huge congratulations.
I got
Anybody?
One more. I got 5 bank accounts open now too. So for my Profit First. So
wow.
Yeah.
That is exciting. We actually just had a really big win. One of Harley's clients was telling us, preaching us kind of the good news about Profit First, saying that he had about $12,000 in taxes that he was going to owe, but he had $18,000 in his tax account, his Profit First tax account. And so he didn't even have to worry about it. He even had money left over. And the beauty of it, that extra $6,000 gets to move straight into profit. So it's a beautiful, beautiful system. So excited to get that implemented with you. Any other wins here this morning?
I have a win.
Tell us, Aji. First, tell us what company you're with.
So I'm with Games Electrical Services, and the last time I joined in, I actually had a heart-to-heart with Harley here. Harley told me to get back on track and get into meetings with my team. So I started the team meeting back up again, and now I have my guys sending out Google reviews, which is awesome.
Yes.
We haven't gotten a review yet because right now my guys this week are on a really big project. But last week, after I had the meeting with them, I saw that they were both sending out reviews, and it's a big win for me because I do it all here. So, and our revenue did pick up tremendously. So it's a big win.
Woo! That is huge.
Tuesday mornings, Aji.
Woo!
Yes.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Okay, well, thank you guys all for being here and for sharing your wins with us. It's really what keeps us going, and it's what makes everything we do feel so valuable and worth it. And so really appreciate you guys sharing. Now, speaking of Google reviews, I feel like Aji kind of led us into the topic today. So I'm excited that she shared that win, because what we're going to be talking about today is the power of your Google business listing. And then in the breakout rooms, what we're going to do is we're going to really tangibly show you how to access your Google business listing, what's the best ways to get reviews, answer any questions that you guys might have. We know that Google can be a little bit tricky. We want to show you how to optimize your listing, all of these little tricks that's really going to help you organically get more calls on Google. Those are free. Who here loves free leads? Leads coming in that are free. Yes, all the hands go up, all of them. And so that's what we're going to be talking today, is how can you get the most out of Google My Business? Okay. So first and foremost here, I want to ask this question. It's one of my favorite questions to ask. Why did you decide to start your own company? Or better yet, what gave you the confidence to believe you should start your own company? Is anybody willing to speak up and just say, yeah, this is the reason why I started my own company? James? You're a young dude. What made you want to start your own company? Would you unmute and tell us? I'm picking on you a little bit. Sorry, buddy.
So I thought I was unmuted already. Well, the main reason I guess was the freedom.
Yep.
And then it was the people that I worked for a lot. I was just kind of like, I could do this better than you, kind of. But
Whoa.
yeah.
No,
Come
that's
on.
typically.
I don't know about better. I meant more efficient, and like they were
That's
just
better
so
to
mean.
me.
Like working for the old welders, it's just like they're always so mean. So I was like, I could do this way better, and then it was just like that. And I was like, I wanted to start a business and like understand how to grow a business and not have to learn the business also. And I knew how to weld, I knew how to fabricate, so I thought that was like a perfect thing. So yeah, that was like kind of the whole starting process.
Yeah, that's a beautiful answer, James. It's actually exactly what I was looking for, because most of the time when we ask people why they want to, why they got into business, the first thing that they say, time and financial freedom. I don't want to work for somebody. Time and financial. That's usually the first one. But then when we kind of get into the nitty gritty of it, a lot of it is, I felt like I should start my own company because I was seeing how everybody else in the industry did it. And I knew that I could serve people better than they could. I worked for a lot of people and I realized, I can do this better than them. There's a need for this. And so most people, they own their own company because you do good work, and you do good work, and you see the gap in the market to start a company that does good work and treats their customers right. And so with that being said, the whole reason of why you started your own company, I love this quote. It says, if you do good work for good clients, it will lead to other good work for other good clients. If you do bad work for bad clients, it will lead to other bad work from other bad clients. Now, everybody at some point is going to get that Karen who comes in and is a terrible client. You can't avoid all of them. But the message of this quote is, if you do good work, it's always going to lead to more good work and for more good people. And so the whole reason you guys got into business is because you do good work. That's why you started. And so we've got to be confident and tenacious about getting reviews. We got to get comfortable with things like video testimonials. We got to be confident in the value that we are delivering. We know we do good work. We know we do better work than most guys. We got into the industry. That's why we started our own company. And then last but not least, you got to charge the prices you deserve. I know for most of our clients here, we've had to recently, increase prices with a lot of you. Who here has kind of recently done a price increase or been looking at their prices? Yeah, Bobby, a couple people here. A lot of our clients, this is a relevant topic. If you are going to raise your prices, you have to make sure that you are really selling the value that your company delivers. What makes you different from everybody else? And Google reviews are one of the most powerful ways of doing that. 90% of searches are done on Google. You can probably blame my generation, but we read reviews before we purchase or hire anybody. I know that that's kind of the way that things are going. It used to be 10 years ago, people just looked at a website and then they called you. It's not the way it works anymore. And so if you want to charge the prices you deserve, then you're going to have to make sure that your reputation shows it. And it's no longer word of mouth, it's Google reviews. And so I want to start with the basics here. What is a Google business listing? Now, when you do a search on Google, like we see here, Denver sewer companies, underneath the search bar, there's going to be this maps section. This is called the maps. The first 3 companies that pop up in the maps section, those are going to be the ones to get the bulk of the calls because people are lazy. So people aren't going to click the more businesses button very often. If you want the bulk of the calls, you're going to have to be in the top 3. There's a lot of different things that you can do to try to get yourself in the top 3, and we're going to talk about them. But the main thing that's going to get you there is having more reviews than everybody else. Looking at these 3 companies here, if you were searching for a sewer company in Denver, which company would you choose out of this 3? Just unmute and tell me which company. Out of these 3 that we have listed here, who would be the one that you would choose to call?
The second one.
Why?
Because of how much reviews they have, and they have a 4.9.
They have, yes, they have over 2,200 reviews with a 4.9 rating. Their nearest competitor has 679. Who's going to get most of the calls? A Better Plumber. They're going to get the bulk of the calls because they are dominating their competition. That is why you're going to get so sick of hearing us telling you to get Google reviews, because it's never going to be enough. There's never going to be a time that we say, oh yeah, you're good, you don't need to worry about it anymore. Because the more reviews you have, the more dominance you have. Not only are you going to start showing up in other searches better, but it makes you the clear choice. You clearly should deserve to charge a premium price because you are clearly a premium service with your 2,200 reviews and your 4.9 rating. If you're looking on a mobile device, this is what a Google business listing is going to look like. This is like, if you have a Google business listing, this is how it shows up on Google. If I were to click on this listing over here, this is how it will pop up. And so when we talk about GMB or Google My Business or Google reviews, this is where they go. This is where they live. All of you by this point should have a Google business listing. If you don't, I'm sure it's something that your coach is in the works with, but if this is totally news to you, book a laser coaching call with your coach so that we can get the ball moving. So the question that I typically get asked is, why Google reviews? A lot of times it's, well, should I get reviews on Yelp? What about Yelp? What about Better Business Bureau? What about Facebook? Or my software gets reviews for me. House Call Pro's default when asking for reviews, those reviews go to House Call Pro, which does nothing for you. And so we get questions a lot of, should I worry about reviews somewhere else? Why should I focus solely on Google? Well, one, it increases your credibility. Like I was talking about earlier, is the more Google reviews you have, when you're looking at that search that we did, A Better Plumber was the clear choice. And you're not going to expect them to charge minimum prices because they have way more reviews than everybody else. They're clearly a premium. Increases your credibility. 81% of customers read reviews before purchasing a product or service. 81%. So if you only have 10 reviews, that's not a lot of credibility, even if you have a 5-star rating. These days, even if you have 60 reviews, it's not enough. It's not enough credibility. It's not enough to compete. 84% of people trust online reviews as much as a personal recommendation. Rudy likes to recommend beers to me, mostly Belgian beers. I don't enjoy Belgian beers, but he's very passionate about Belgian beers.
I was born and raised in Belgium, for all of you who don't know that, which is probably 90%. So
yeah. And so, he's got some pride behind liking his Belgian beers. When I recommend a beer to Rudy, the first thing that he does is he searches it on Google. And one, he sees if it's an IPA, and then he immediately tells me, get this garbage out of here. The second thing that he'll do is he'll look at the reviews, because he does not trust my opinion solely. He wants to see what other people are saying. In fact, I would say that Rudy trusts strangers' reviews more than he trusts me in a lot of ways. But that just goes to show, no matter what it is, whether it's beer or if it's your next plumber or remodeler or whatever it is, people trust reviews as much or sometimes even more than a personal recommendation. Also, like you saw there, the companies that showed up for Denver sewer inspections had a lot of reviews. The lowest one had over 200. If you want to show up in the 3-pack on Google for relevant searches, you got to have more reviews than your competitors. And the more reviews that you have, the wider of a area you're going to cover and the more searches you're going to show up with. So the more reviews you have, it increases your visibility. So it's going to help you rank higher on Google. Now, here's the question that we get asked constantly. What about other platforms? Business Insider did a search and 90% of searches are done on Google. 90%. So we're not saying to ignore all the other platforms. What we're saying is 90% of the fruit is on Google. So until you are dominating there, don't worry about the 10% that's searching elsewhere. Let's go after the majority, and then once you're dominating on Google, you're never going to want to stop. But yeah, it would be okay to get some reviews some other places. In order to leave a Google review, you have to have a Google account. If somebody doesn't have a Google account, we always recommend the next place to recommend is going to be Facebook. And so that'd be the next one. Now, if you do have a negative review on Yelp or Better Business Bureau, negative reviews do hurt you. Doesn't matter where they are. Would recommend doing what you can to get a couple more reviews to bury that negative review, or even seeing if there's something you can do about that negative review, or at least responding to it. But we never want you to focus your energy anywhere else but Google, because 90% of the searches are done there. And so I want to ask this question here, because this is one of the first things that we start with most of our clients is Google My Business. And so a lot of our clients have a lot of reviews. I don't know if Mr. Pink Dumpster is here today, but last week he was in my breakout room and he was so excited to tell us that he got over 500 reviews. He has 501 reviews. And this isn't a service company. They aren't going to 4 doors per day, like per technician, like some of you who have service companies are. He has less opportunity. He has 501 reviews. Rudy, do you remember how many reviews he had when he first started getting them?
It was about 80.
That's a big jump. How long could you kind of give us a rough guess of how long it's taken him to get to 501?
He's been, yeah, what the biggest difference maker with him is the consistency. So it was never an overnight blast. The 80 he had took him a number of years to get, and that was just because he's amazing at his service here. People actually spontaneously left him reviews, which was amazing. But we helped him be proactive with that. And yeah, I mean, he's it's not uncommon to get, I would say at a minimum, maybe 1 review a day.
That's phenomenal. We also have Service Renew here. This is another one of Jonathan Rood's clients. He has 310. And this is another guy who doesn't necessarily do service work. They do tub and counter refinishing, so bigger projects. He has 310 reviews, and they're currently pretty much dominating their little area of Arkansas because of how many reviews that they have. Roofing and Siding Smiths, they have 277. Arnold's Plumbing, he is a similar testimony to the Pink Dumpster. Mr. Dale Eads, they consistently get 2 to 5 reviews per week. When he first started with us, he had less than 20, and he's been in business for 15 years. But when we talked about Google reviews, he committed to getting 2 to 5 realistically per week. He incentivizes his technicians. It's not optional. His technicians have to get reviews. And so over the course of about 2 years, he's gone from 20 to 530 reviews. And it's not like he's getting a ton, every single day. It's just 2 to 5 per week, that he's getting. Alicorp Plumbing, they have 444 reviews. Now this guy, he gets a couple reviews per week. But the main thing that he does to get reviews is he is diligent about filling out his customer database. He makes sure that every single customer that uses him, he collects an email. Then he gives that to me. Every 3 months, we run a Google review campaign, and he consistently will get about 30 reviews per campaign. And so that's a very minimal effort on his part. He just makes sure that we're getting emails, for every single customer. And then we run a Google review campaign every 3 months. And look, he has 444 reviews. He's based out of Chesapeake, but he's now showing up in Virginia Beach, which is about 10 miles or more away from where he's physically located. But because of his reviews, he's able to even start widening his territory and getting in front of people that before he would never be able to get in front of. Kleber Electric, 267 reviews. Garden Diva, they're a metal art business here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I didn't even know that that was a thing before we started working with them. They have 777 reviews, and they just make sure that every single person that comes to their shop, they're asking for a review. Now, last but not least here, we got Redmond Growth. We do practice what we preach. We have 386 reviews. This is something that every time we have a new client getting ready to onboard, we insist that they read our reviews before getting started. Why? We don't want them to take our word for it. We also have a referral list that we give everybody so they can even call past clients. We want to make sure that they are taking not just our word for it, but they're able to see the credibility, able to see the reputation. Is there anybody currently on this call that can preach to the power of Google reviews, what they've been able to do for your company specifically? Just unmute and.
Hey guys.
I can.
Hey, how's it going, Hawk?
Okay, so I'll go first, I guess. John, I'm at 94. I was at 41 or something when I came on board.
Yep.
And when people do call, we ask, how'd you get our number? What is it? Our trucks, basically whatever they say, and we record that. And now we've added a second thing. Oh, we did a Google search. Well, what was it that had you call us? Oh, your reviews. Invariably, because we went from 40 something to 94, and invariably when you say it was a Google search, what made you call us? It was the reviews. It blew my mind when I added that question and saw the reaction to everybody. Thanks.
That's awesome. That's awesome. You're getting right close to 100. You got to let us know when you get over that 100 mark. That's going to be a huge mile marker for you. Jose, I think you unmuted to talk here, sir. Can you tell us about your experience with Google reviews?
It's been amazing. I had no reviews when I started with you, and you kept pushing, and I got some. And I'm not pushing hard to get reviews, and the reason is I forget even to, tell my office girl to ask for. But I got about 30 now, and I've got a few jobs that people say, "Oh, your reviews are great." That's why we decided to go with you.
That's awesome. It allows selling to be a lot easier. Jose owns a remodeling company. He's selling big projects. It's an investment. They're a little bit nervous to make that investment. But now that he's got those reviews, that's a lot of credibility. It makes selling easier. And we're actually, Jose made a good point. He forgets because you guys are business owners. You have 1,055,000 things on your mind each day. The last thing on your mind is asking that customer for a review, which is why during the breakout rooms, we're going to talk about the best ways to remember how to do it and the easiest ways to get it, because we know that it isn't the first thing that's on your mind. And so moral of the message here is if you want to unlock the treasure chest of free leads, better leads, opportunities that you would have never been able to get in front of, being able to sell a lot easier and at a higher price point, Google reviews are going to be the #1 way to do it. And so I'm going to go over real briefly, where do we start? And this is kind of what we're going to go over during the breakout rooms. So where to start when you're beginning? Reach out to friends and family for character reviews. Yes, they don't technically have to be a customer to leave you a review. All they have to have is a Google account. And so we want to make sure that we are not, limiting ourselves to just customers. friends, family members, vendors, subcontractors, anybody who can testify to the quality of work that they've seen you do or the quality of human that you are. We want to give them the opportunity to leave us a review. Email past customers asking for a review. We will do this for you. And we'll run as many email campaigns as you want forever, as long as you're a client. And so make sure that you're collecting emails, and we will either monthly, if you're a service company, monthly is typically great. If you're somebody who has larger projects like a remodeler or a roofer, it might be every quarter, might be every 3 months. But if you're diligent about collecting emails, we'll run Google review campaigns for you. And it's very successful in getting reviews. And then just moving forward, ask all customers for a review. One thing that we're going to really harp on during our breakout room, but I'm going to touch on it a little bit here, is if you do not ask for the review when you are in front of the customer, and if you do not send them the link right then and there, even if they say yes, they're going to leave you a review, consider that review lost. It's not going to happen. And so make sure that this is something that you implement in your process, something that you hold your technicians accountable to. Because people are lazy, people are forgetful. You know, we know how it goes. It's not their highest priority either. So we got to make sure that moving forward, we're asking every single customer for a review. We're texting them that link and making it as easy for them as possible. This is what Arnold's Plumbing does. They have over 530 reviews. He incentivizes his team to get reviews. He pays $10 per review that the technician gets. And they get pretty competitive about it. And we like that. We want them to get competitive about it. And so you can incentivize your team to get those reviews, give them some bonuses. If you're paying them 10, 20 bucks per review, it is such a powerful investment. That money is going to come back to you 10 times fold. Those reviews are so powerful for you. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to have Bryce, who's going to put us all in breakout rooms, and we're going to really make it tangible for you, answer any questions that you might have, and then go over what are the best ways to get reviews, common hurdles that we see, and make sure that everybody leaving here today is going to know how to get reviews.